What happens when you feel nothing? Do emotions make you weak and only bring problems? After an awful situation, Timmy blames his emotions and wishes to never feel anything again. No sadness, no anger, no fear. This episode of The Fairly Odd Parents shows us whether living without emotions would truly make life easier or emptier. This episode starts with a sunny day in Dinsdale, so everyone is at the pool having fun. Can't relate because I do not know how to swim. Timmy Turner looks down and his legs shake as he's about to dive the highest diving board of the pool. From below, the popular boys pressure him to jump.
Come on, Turner! What are you, scared and poor?
Timmy tries to convince himself he can do it because Trixie, the girl of his first wet dreams, is looking at him. But his fears are bigger than him. Timmy runs backwards until something pokes him from behind. It's Francis, the school bully. Naturally, Timmy gets so scared that ends up falling off the diving board. Although a big fall, he lands safe and sound. Probably because he does know how to swim. Unlike me. However, when he comes out of the pool, Trixie screams in horror because Timmy is naked.
Good grief, he's naked!
His bathing suit is floating in the pool, unleashing the mockery of everyone. Consumed by shame, he hides under his bed. He just wants to disappear. Wanda tries to comfort him, explaining that shame is normal and that he must learn to face it. Unlike certain someone. For Timmy, emotions are the problem. Fear preventing him from jumping. Francis' fright made him fall in a goofy way, and now he feels completely humiliated. Because now everyone at school knows his underdeveloped little private parts. So he wishes to have no emotions. His magical godparents carry out his orders. Suddenly, Timmy's mind's open and all sorts of emotions start coming out. Happiness, anger, love, fear, things he will no longer feel. Cosmo traps them all in a small box. Now, Timmy's empty. Wanda asks him what he feels, to which he coldly replies, "I do not." His face is completely expressionless. Okay, this deserves a TikTok edit next to Ryan Gosling's.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
This idea of not feeling anything, not showing emotions, being stoic, being Tommy Shelby.
Thomas Shelby.
Thomas Shelby.
Evet, Sigma.
In a world where modern man does not manage his emotions properly, vices, addictions, dumb scrolling, and erratic behavior are the result of not knowing how to govern emotions. And this is very true, but it is incomplete. We also have to see the other side of the coin. Cosmo, realizing he can't get offended or sad, makes fun of the pool incident. Even Wanda joins, which yeah, honestly, it was hilarious. The next day at the bus stop, and on the same bus, everyone makes fun of him, points at him, laughs, and makes comments about his public indecency. But Timmy doesn't care. Veronica, Trixie's sidekick, throws a sarcastic comment. "Wow, look who decides to wear clothes today." But Timmy stays unmoved, not a single gesture that could reveal discomfort. "Let's go, King!" Veronica starts feeling frustrated by such display of power until she faints. That's a Michael Jackson type of aura right there. We live in an era that emphasizes the importance of expressing our emotions and letting them flow freely. And I mean, there's truth to that. Acknowledging and accepting what we feel is better than repressing and hiding them. We saw that on the video about Clarence. However, there's another lesson that is often overlooked. It's equally important to know when not to be ruled by our emotions. Life frequently puts us in situations where maintaining composure and emotional control is more effective than reacting impulsively like a crybaby. And this doesn't mean ignoring or repressing our emotions, but rather being able to discern when it's best to act with reason instead of emotion. Timmy's behavior illustrates this well. By choosing not to react to provocation, he avoids prolonging his suffering and quickly disarms the opposition. By not feeling ashamed or upset by what others say, Timmy takes the power of controlling him away from them. Timmy sits next to Trixie, something that in the past would have made him nervous with excitement. Yet this time, he feels nothing, no nerves, no thrill. He simply remains by her side, as if the moment held no special significance. This new attitude causes her to get excited in the downstairs region. She tells him she will ignore him, but Timmy doesn't react. His silence starts to unsettle her, and more upset, she insists, I said I'm ignoring you. Still nothing. Finally, she becomes so exasperated that she ends up pleading, almost desperately and definitely moist. In class, Crocker doesn't miss the opportunity to make fun of him. He puts in front of everyone how he was caught in 4K losing his dignity. The whole classroom explodes in laughs, but Timmy is unfazed. Crocker, more irritated, threatens to fail Timmy, which to be honest he's probably used to, but still nothing seems to get to him. Before long, his classmates start admiring him, turning him into the coolest kid in school. Even the school baddie is in love with him. Like the rest follow him as if he were some kind of YouTuber with more than 100,000 subscribers. Or that's what I imagine that happens when you have all those subscribers. I don't know, I'll let you know once you subscribe. Wanda remarks that he must be happy, to which Timmy with a blank expression replies, "What is happy? When we force ourselves to stop feeling, we won't feel peace, but disconnection. Disconnection from what you were, from what you love, and from who you loved." Meanwhile, Cosmo is fighting Timmy's emotions at home, which he is doing an awesome job.
Oh, great! Bravery's on the roof again!
Francis warns Timmy that he's going to beat him up, but cold as ice, Timmy doesn't react. Francis, frustrated, intensifies his threats, saying he will shove him into a toilet. Timmy just yawns and tells him to hurry up to whatever he's going to do. Baffled by Turner's lack of fear, Francis backs off, saying that he's too weird, before accidentally slipping and falling headfirst into a toilet himself in the goofiest of ways. The students hail him as a hero. Trixie approaches and announces that he's now officially cool enough to be her boyfriend, presenting him with a pin to symbolize it. I think we all know how culturally the idea of the coolest people are those who appear emotionally indifferent, detached, and effortlessly confident. Just look at Thomas Shelby. Oh yes, I got a boner too. But what makes such behavior seem cool? There are two key reasons. First, someone who appears unaffected by others' opinions projects immense self-assurance, unlike most people who worry about fitting in or being accepted. This person doesn't need external validation. That quiet confidence radiates power, which naturally draws people in. Secondly, by refusing to seek approval, they set their own terms instead of conforming to others' expectations. This rebellious independence makes them stand out, and we see this reflected with the Little Me characters from the movies. All based on me. Ironically, those who lack that same confidence scramble to mimic this attitude of gaining approval, so people say, "Oh my god, he's so cool!" But that's missing the crucial lesson. Being genuinely cool means not caring about others' opinions. Trixie asks Timmy how does that make him feel. He coldly replies, it doesn't. Outraged, she accuses him of playing with her emotions, rips up the pin, and decides she'll date his best friend Chester instead, who completely panicked since, like most of us, he is scared of women. On his way home, Wanda tries to lecture Timmy, but he interrupts her, stating he doesn't need advice, he already understood it on his own. Being the coolest kid is a hollow victory if he can't enjoy it. Wanda is surprised and Timmy explains that without his emotions, he's thinking more logically, solving timeless questions. The chicken came before the egg, and Overwatch is a better and more polished game than Marvel Rivals. He then tells Wanda he's ready to regain his emotions after learning the lesson. She heads off to retrieve them from Cosmo, who's been keeping them for sure very safe. Meanwhile, a stuntman approaches Timmy, claiming he's exactly the type of person he needs, a fearless and emotionless kid. He takes Timmy to Dinsdale Dimmadome, where he will have to perform a crazy stunt. Ride a motorcycle up a ramp, jump across a building, pass through a flaming hoop while avoiding giant scissors.
How's that make you feel?
It doesn't.
You're weird.
Timmy wonders why the stuntman isn't doing it himself, and he basically says that he's not an idiot. Timmy does the jump in such a stylish way and lands effortlessly, making the crowd go wild and many panties to be wet. This moment showcases another side of stoicism. While staying emotionally composed can be beneficial, it can also be dangerous when taken to the extreme. Here we see the example with something dangerous, but this disconnection and detachment also translates in every aspect of life. If we don't feel passion, love, or anything, it can lead to a very dark and nihilistic void, where why care about anything if nothing matters? Without fear, Tim ignores the very real danger he's facing. Emotions serve a purpose. Fear isn't just a barrier to overcome, it's a warning system that helps us avoid harm. Finding a healthy balance means acknowledging our emotions without letting them control us. In a sense, there's Trixie trying to get Timmy's attentions by kissing Chester, imagining she's kissing Timmy's big and prominent teeth. On the way home, some mysterious guys in a white van approach the little kid. What a surprise! But these are some secret agents that inform him that he's the perfect candidate to stop the infamous Dr. Vulcan, who has kidnapped Trixie and Chester. So Tim is like, yeah, whatever. He parachutes from a moving plane into a shark-infested sea. The shark, sensing Timmy's complete lack of fear, flee in terror. Timmy reaches the volcano where the villain is hiding, scales it, and crosses a tightrope on a unicycle through some giant scissors. Damn, at what point did this become an episode of a regular show? The agents give him the final challenge. Dive into a lagoon filled with piranhas, whirlpools, alligators, sharp rocks, an angry tourist, and of course, some scissors. Timmy doesn't blink, ready to jump. Just then, Cosmo appears, opening the box containing Timmy's emotions, returning to him. Suddenly, Timmy is overwhelmed by a flood of feelings: fear, doubt, and even anger.
Yay! It worked! I'm so emotional!
Full of fear, he feels paralyzed. He's sure he cannot do it, but then he remembers. Trixie and Chester's lives are at stake. He has no choice. Taking a deep breath, he closes his eyes and leaps. You know, wishing they were safe would be a lot easier, but I guess that works too. This scene emphasizes that emotions aren't just obstacles, they can also inspire us and drive us to act. In this case, fear warned Timmy of the danger, but love and loyalty gave him the courage to push through it. Timmy successfully rescues his friends. Days later, he's in bed, covered in bandages, but despite his injuries, he feels content. He overcame his fears. This episode teaches us how it's not about eliminating emotions, but learning how to navigate them, and not reacting impulsively. Emotions aren't inherently wrong, it's how we respond to them that matters. Sometimes staying cool and detached is the right move, but other times emotions gives us the insight we need to make better choices and to enjoy the good things in life. If you want to see some more fun and interesting introspections, watch this video next, and I'm sure you will enjoy. Thanks for watching.